guys, Mustached. I'm here to review the movie In Your Dreams. Now, I saw the trailer for this one a few times, but as the movie was approaching, I saw a lot less and less of it. Initial, a sort of semi-big push, I guess, and then sort of a major drop-off. But I was like, whatever. Animated movie. Now, what I was not aware of was that apparently this movie was made internally by, I guess Netflix just has an animation studio. I actually was legitimately unaware of that. So yeah. I didn't, I thought this was like DreamWorks or something, or it definitely didn't seem like Disney, in terms of like animation style. Or Pixar, for that matter. I could definitely have seen it being DreamWorks, though. Just like these... It's hard to describe different styles, but that's... whatever. Anyway, getting to the movie, we start with the family unit dancing. We have Stevie, the daughter, and Elliot, the younger brother. And the parents are all happy and all things seem good initially. However, one night, the older sister, Stevie, hears the parents arguing, which causes her to see that something needs to clearly change. Her brother is insistent on magic. As a practicing magician, I suppose. Which isn't a character archetype I haven't seen in a bit, I suppose, in terms of, the more, nerdier side of culture. Just, gone, as it were, but I guess not. Meanwhile, she is already considering trying to seeing how this rift is starting to occur. She, as young as she is already trying to consider getting a job. Which, based on real life, I can understand that struggle of wanting to get in out there as soon as possible because capitalism crushes family units and makes them work paycheck to paycheck. So I can understand that want very early on in life. These days. Anyway. So, as this movie progresses, we see that, Elliot knocks over some comics as he was supposed to do some sort of book report and ends up downstairs and finding this book that refers to the Sandman. So, this is our McMuffin that leads to the rest of the plot. When they rest, they go on these extravagant dream sequences, turning the bed into a rocket, or things like this. Based on it being a family unit, I was assuming that this was meant for, to be a family movie, I guess. Though, I never thought I would have to utter the phrase, and this does happen in the movie, 2 kids shoot out of a hot dog's asshole, in a review. I didn't think that would be a sentence that I would have to utter, but that is a thing that happens in the movie. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, he literally shits them out after eating them. So, I don't know. I guess that somehow constitutes being eligible for the youth, but hey. Dear conservatives, at least there aren't any gay people in this movie. because that's your big worry. I've seen the clips about, earlier on Twitter or something. It was like a month ago or 2 months ago or something, not too long ago, where people were like, "Oh, I'm throwing away my Netflix subscription. Oh, these gays are taking over the Netflix. They're kissing." They're kissing just like a straight couple would, and I don't want my kids to be subject to that because somehow, some way that'll turn kids gay. Because that's the bridge of homophobia, is putting an illogical fear behind your reasoning. But hey, at least this movie doesn't have a gay kiss. Wow. I mean, instead, I guess, again, it has a children getting eaten by a hot dog and then being proceeded to get shit out by that hot dog's perceived asshole. Family friendly. Not woke at all. So yeah. Anyway. Easy dig aside. Once she touches this golden glyph, she awakens. So they get their initial, introduction. She doesn't initially believe it. She gets roped into believing it first, actually, before the brother. And the two of them end up sharing the same dreams from this point moving forward. So, through this, through the dreams there, the brother is able to discover his once discarded giraffe toy. That's why you see the little giraffe guy in the middle of the poster. You see, it was once hers, it was once his. He gave it to her at a certain juncture. We get that way later in the movie, but still. Point is that, it does fart lasers, because, again, I guess, easy jokes are what appeal to, the kids these days. I shrug at these things at this point, I guess. At any rate, so they have a distinctive, different wants. She initially doesn't describe the scenario, so he doesn't want to take part of these dreams. He's trying to stay awake. That doesn't end too well. But after another sequence, she eventually updates him with what's really going on, and that bumps him up to where she is in terms of wanting the same thing, essentially, is wanting their family to stay together. Because the mom is seeking a job elsewhere, and the dad wants to stay where they are, have that band, this musical little band, and thus they traverse their dreams trying to reach the Sandman, going nightmare after nightmare, trying to reach him, determined to reach him. Now, they make the rule that they are only able to reach a lucid dream by holding hands and both desiring the same exact thing. So they set up that rule, and I guess they stick to it, I think, for the most part. Yeah. I'm struggling to remember, because I didn't write it in my notes, if there was a time in the movie where they break away from that rule that they set up. So, anyway. So they get swept up in this hurricane and end up in Sandtown, meeting the Sandman. He does this whole musical number where he plays a vintage, super old song, Mr. Sandman. That is that's a oldie song for the adults, I guess, but they modify it for the newer generation. And This movie has some really weird music choices. Like, they turned "Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Just Like Me," that song, they had that in this movie, but they just replaced "girlfriend" with "pizza," and all the other lyrics are the same. So yeah, weird music choice, to say the least. At least on that one. I mean, Mr. Sandman, that's, I mean, it is classic, but I suppose it does fit at the very most. But the other one I mentioned is like, huh? Anyway. So, Sandman offers this ideal version of what they want, which is having the parents stick together. And initially, all seems well. We even have a montage within the dream showing them that everything is all cozy and neat, all packaged and all well delivered. However, the daughter realizes and spots a thing that, in reality, the one of the picture frames from earlier in the movie, she broke it. This picture frame appears to be fixed. She realizes this first. The brother catches on that his side of the room is much more clean than it is typically, and thus also realizes that the picture frame is not broken, realizing that they are still in a dream. Sandman explains that they need to stay in this position for the dream glass, because it's like an hourglass. If it flips over and all the grains of sand flip over to the other side, that they will forget the reality that they lived in and will accept this dream-like state as their reality. You know, pretty antagonistic, almost insidious, perhaps, moment in the movie, which is where the nightmare aspect comes back into frame. We actually get to meet that character, because Sandman is represented by a character, so too is the nightmares. And when the brother, because the siblings have a falling out where she keeps on wanting this desire to stay with this dream, to hold on out until that time runs out, he's realizing that that it is just a dream and that they have to accept it. So she wishes him away, or pulls him away. So she's in the dream state. The brother gets the parents involved and is making his way back solo at the moment. So he encounters the nightmares, and she proceeds to explain how nightmares are used to help us grow up to get us ready for the real horrors of reality. That is what nightmares are supposed to be for, which I guess is an interesting way of looking at it, especially as an adult. Looking how bizarre, dreams that had turned into nightmares that even I had as the youth, thinking about, like, man, what was that all about? And even having creepier ones where, like, you would wake up and then your body would actually physically be, like, almost stuck. I've had that happen to me once, at least for a little bit. It is a terrifying moment. It truly was. They don't go for that here, exploring those even deeper concepts of, like, sleep paralysis is like, ugh, though I suppose they're, like, almost hinting at sleep paralysis with her. I think that's, like, sort of the intro to the concept, as it were. And obviously, throughout the movie when they were montaging earlier, they were splitting between their dreams slash what it would retrospectively turn into a nightmare. His being more, youth and imaginative based, and hers being a little slightly more grounded in reality, but still having that slight tinge of you still realize it's a dream moment. And that to me is an interesting note to detail of when you are young, and I can even recall this, my dreams were definitely far more outlandish. And then as I grew up, the dreams started to simplify. They started to construct closer to reality, but still have hints of oh, this is clearly a dream. That is interesting that your brain does that to you while you're sleeping. And, where that creativity drives from, and how it sort of reconstructs as you age, I suppose. It's a definitely interesting concept, and I think one that is explored a little bit in the middle-ish portion of the movie. So I would at least highlight that moment as a pretty good moment, despite all the bizarre moments in this movie. So they bring her to the hospital. He goes to sleep, seeing that nightmare, having her explain this, and then him moving forward. The parents arrive on the other side where the hourglass is, so I'm not sure why they didn't just try to stop this whole nonsense from happening, but whatever. They wanted the kids to do it, I don't know. Pretty dumb moment there, I guess. So, you have your highlights and then you have your, that was really stupid of them moments happen in this movie shortly thereafter. Or, near the end of the movie in this case. But the kids nonetheless stop the last sand grain from reaching the bottom, and then proceed to shatter the hourglass, accepting the reality and accepting that the changes that are to come to the family, with them moving, essentially. And that was In Your Dreams. It's, I think there are some concepts, like I said, that are interesting. Like I said, how we dream at certain ages and things of this nature are definitely where the movie is highlighting its ability to access dreams within animation. Though other moments, like the ending, are could have fixed that, could have tightened up that script to have it still be the kids that are the ones that determine it. I mean, you would think that the parents would, maybe this is like a kids-only thing. The parents' dreams would be far too removed. Something to, abstract them from the potential solution. I don't know. But, it's supposed to be representative of a feel-good moment, even though it doesn't make any logical sense. So that's, the push and pull of that moment, is that sacrifice. Consistency and well-written material versus, sort of this feel-good moment. Other than that, it's a pretty basic movie outside of, again, some of the more that hot dog scene. I don't know what else to say about it other than, okay, they put that in the movie. okay. You know, having one of those moments where you're just like, you know, just because dreams can get a little silly, you don't have to do that, you know. You don't have to go that far, I feel. Anyway, I think this movie is like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It's still, you know, it does definitely have some premises that are pushing it up to that 6, I feel. Because they're definitely exploring some of them to an extent, so I want to give the movie its credit and due, being as objective as possible, so that's where I think I'll leave it for this one, a 6 out of 10, maybe a little closer to a 5, but still 6. Anyway, if you ended up enjoying this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. Went ahead to my petition to help out small YouTubers. Second, to my PayPal, where you can help support me and my channel directly. And third, to my Discord server. You can join, collab, shill, do all that cool stuff for free. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.